paying for Maku 8 Sebio helicopter crash no AC no ama Sebio mu nyino oma hwe omonkwa. It was just about this Saturday, and 2 of the victims somewhere Muslimi for omo de ndan omo ye ntem enu ntino ye de omo ekoye 37 military military hospital cemetery and ye de omo ekoye. But in September, Brenana APM, there are too many conspiracy theories. We say, oh, Ekobo DM, we say in a fire. The others were even, propelling, say, we should start from the ground. Omwa technical for no engineers, no more call machines, no more crano. That is where some of these investigations need to start from. The others are also saying is the black box versus the voice recorder in a war helicopter. We have to really take it back to manufacture Z9 no near no more encoding common muntumi and the code design and all these things are playing together within the space. I say na yedi and enkomo ye pa. But enya me na me di hu enkomo na me expert na fe me ni what it comes to national security issues no kwande. I have to go on the line na me name yenua bema or your former national security operative Ora Kofi Yeboah na yendi nkomo yen share truly all these conspiracies that are really throwing in me sure so watibi na yeni hu nkomo na fe yanom so ayetie ye hwe na yensua ade akakra enfim Ora Kofi Yeboah mema wache eba ye Kessben Maakye so
meje so me yakojo
bacho bi aboko de
oh yankopon azumoso
erade adom nkakra kra yugo so. Now there's been this many. I mean, Asemba say you get too many conspiracy theories, propoundings everywhere. To the extent that you start in fee the engineers almost share helicopter and say baby 2 from the grounds. It be to say we should look at snipers. It be to say we should look at the miners even getting into the space to even use their own ammunitions to shoot the pilot. Of course, there were 3 crew members in the home, you know, on the console of the helicopter, the Nipa 2 and a betting name. So definitely there will be some talk, or there will be, and there are too many things that are really throwing out and there. Say ya TBB say ya yanoma yetio na face no ye hwe ye ho ewo ye Kessben TV no. When these things happen as on mine any citizens say what do we have to do coming from your area as a former national security operative?
Mamincha wa kwa na mape ne wati fo ma yancha yin kana fo nyina na mape na because Kojo do have because you build society yan trust ya ho ya.
Okay.
Anti ma assembly a ye pen them pointy fingers di hu komwa anti be wie no assembly man kasa nchiri mu no kra bampo kra na tela no we say yan fire no be jana curious na koso no the amount for propound no no na ye be tina so dia ka for instance it be say national cathedral and they are say you would that's one perform cause about the $58 million to amana.
Yeah.
But no clue whom say the right report nearby no say I establish the biasa. But all the non about the narrative.
Yeah.
And saying over the years you build the society no. You build society and you and say asemsia you decline ebuya asem no. A conviction ye be and son assembly mu common nankasa ni twemu nankasa na eden e because ya man yourself na ye man koye say the hwehwe wo mu no ye one man one vote no and no na ba be the ultimate the one man one vote policy no na ba be the ultimate kwa me fa so a me na one man one vote na ni duru so a me nya do one man one vote dynamics no ho ena ye keka ko ena nya dia eboa oman no eti ama yen ye ha no ke ya baye ni muhwe Ghana Kojo se wo hwe oman Ghana da ho na mem se me we Kojo ma chini Ghana university on mo mu dim ni hotel you Ghana de amanfo de abrochire ni ahun keka ho na yeso matukwa da so pa oman Ghana mu a Kojo ye chini mu pa and the crew woman say anka Ghana nka nyese ni osanke ye tie ni osanke ye koye ni Ghana yo man anka na no pay akrabia sorry o san ko nye duane di no men nye duane di no men because ade bie ni Ghana kire se o sa ade chen o sa akrabi o twa ma ne bobe 11 12 na ne ma me ye dynamics bi ansa na bibia ba table so but over the years no ye ni puntu nkomo and it's not as if say subtle ade di nyan ye ni nye den enko ho enti uko bi o we una mese wona me nyamu am you okay with that or tell me say we are no the day no I must make ends meet and the way I make us say it the whole world cruel the intersection of the equator and the longitude 0 degrees na tema ne ben be asia longitude 0 degrees and latitude 0 degrees in chia tema ne ben by which is Ghana. And so unimaginary lines na e kan ho asem na ye lines are e kire nyoma bebre e woni pa brabo mu. So you ask yourself say the na Ghana na ye omanya e ben bibia lines me ni we see in meet no. So what they are about e can be the kire yen. But over the years no say hono kran yen ni yen komo kran ko yen nye research ekura into latitude 0 degrees nankata no DNA dey by within time longitude no DNA dey by within time dey nyina ye dey bruni bi etu ho anamo ayato hono eno a ne di ekire a wo hwe Accra Plains e wo hono meba nkomo ni so wo hwe Accra Plains e wo hono a ene o facho polinum ni on keka ho a ye tonton saase me sure start am go e mu di advert ni bi kuraba ready and what is supposed to be a farming enclave an agric zone agric why because the Volta River net dem wa kobo pumu adan you show ne o mi nyina o ti e di ba be ye sefu no o ti e di ye fu Accra Plains no Accra Plains ni ye no e ta plain ni two you want the wet side and the dry side. The wet side na ya Accra Plains no and the dry side na ya Accra Plains no advanced side the ba the pram side no and then the dry side and at the west side na lagoon Kessben Keta lagoon no and walk and na stretch into the water aspect near the west side and na Accra side no western side no the dry side of the water and Accra how the no Accra Plains no o sure sade for the policies money the vision mu no offend the great Accra Plains.
Okay.
Offend the great Accra Plains. In fact, nyoma e ma abrofo mutimi enya kwan esoso nkromam e grepo no mine ni ayeke aye ba but over the years you ask yourself the inti and then we ni ho nkomo e osaje fu stu so to gina no kaza adenti na aye then Ashanti go first tax no muchi and returns no me the more mine e form do.
Okay.
O kan ta asem no business and financial times any various media tabloids in the UK. Sorry, the who did they say no? Or person wa party or interest. Why? Because yes, signing advance concession 1897. I was breaking the memo. Because I want to put you now advance chief Ben and all. Now Santi chief Ben and all. But now you are signing our concession and they are not. British interest and there was our concession. Meanwhile, you include the town so or what I know minimum go to that. No minimum go to that where they take into consideration and sana ye kwa release our concession from a Boasipusi Asante Bepai. That is that I anything advance concession. And some ye day man or more no mutim go that ya phenom and ye onke can ye consider or one. No way. But in ye no and ye the kubu. It was for it was no the Accra Plains no. In the Sika shame this mineral exploitation, you bet me chem. Okay. You bet me chem. You bet me chem crania ye yemfu or the Accra Plains because you are going to change you and Nama party anymore. If I don't fuck Accra Plains name, we jump on that say any a senator 54 infantry regiment that was to try to the other side now at the other. We say the people ensure quite the what it means is that we go ensure we go plan and now. That's fast as minimum. I'm a yet media irrigation farming baby. Because you fast our planning so tomatoes all year round.
Okay.
Watermelon all year round say all kind of things. They many other things all year round say all kind of things. DNA catch there. The catch there say that you think come papa anke yebetimi de saa asase ne no kura de abeye grade.
Okay.
But then saa asase no paso e wo so no say emfa concrete en hye mu. Nti ata ye de concrete kini ne wie na nkrani adabom na nkrani nsawo ma bom nsawo si ni suhum bom suhum ni chebi bom chebi ni ye friend say osi no bom osi no ene brete ni nem bom ni nem ni nkoko bom ye za me ma we ni na ye mbe bi ba land use na ka se hon comot ten.
Okay.
It's that what the
Yemra so.
Now, adi esi eye event a sebe enye nipa nyina na wo ho ni na sebe Leicester City onum owner so the aeroplane first helicopter from Kings Tower and odi wuye the town owner of Leicester City you from center line from King Power no man bomb you 2 year and a crash in the year for the free. What you say Britain honor there were theories and for propounding. And that's all the try you and we say I did win the default to the end and but I had an answer because yet the or time ya go yen and quickly, the West and the Indian washer. And call them na for ye, Daniel money to America. And the after many more that do me and to your bona, ye made him before then. And yes, you read near Shenastaland, the view much swap. But we have the right for second opinion. Not Yako for second opinion, but when ye are. Ye pentem and a win a tutu, win the say, if you didn't cry yet, win the say, ye be say, and in before crying, you should move a black box, a team of engineers, a cry, in fact, forensic, a year, our bodies no crown. And no crowd in Yama be better, that forensic a year, a buying day, body, samples of the bodies, a 2 amount a young identification, and no crowd in Yama be blue, the bed, the pie. The shock and Nipani Nyan, a bed says shock or cry, Unyay, I don't know you know, the Nipa crowd said it in 20 years. No, you don't pay him for me, don't pay a post mortem. And the rare cause of death. And he said, Bianca, well, yen number 3. Man can him before and she shot the nim. No man for the sea your pot in your day. And Mra. Yen at the corporate they see. But young embassy event, and I'm very sorry with this particular turn of event because Ghana and your man can be the plaster of Africa. Ye be and come out to say, yeah, jungle be more about the and in the phobia and you, but we continue produce and in before across the group NASA across NASA. You went in before the Bromia or more of Ghanaian descent or more NASA Juma. The other thing I use any bit in the but over the years, you purely that culture and say, you be man, very quiet, and I be and funny the agenia. Then be any pentam, the emotions, the kind of agenia them, and it's affecting us.
Okay. So it means that most of the Obibeka tourists in Atitini, Ghana for Nyabotre, na audit ne who committees name who investigations in area, then we can then come with all the analysis that want to come with them. Probably go for a second review if it happens to be say also. That is what you're saying.
Well, that is what it should be. So the any accident. There should be a testing officer from DVL, technical officer.
Yeah.
Test on it. And I'm a
no correct.
Why shaping in your Mexico? And yes,
no correct.
Actual cause of accident in your mechanical or being say we will do. And I just done it.
No correct.
It's the intimate train. I don't the helicopter intimate train.
So what would be your advice? I mean, coming from the national security, side, especially the media, the way we are propounding too many theories and making it look like you're more expert than the expert, and then positioning and saying all sort of manner of things to really make the ordinary Ghanaian believe, because you're threatening kakra say a banner say whatever we are propounding on radio, any TV, any online no enye sana end of the committee report in investigations in Abekwa. Ayana a crashia a hydronic kakra. What would be your advice for especially the media?
Kojo adeni nyina se ampasem si a yempe wono mo mo ade no ho yesu ehunu
okay
ene nyindie na nka wono mo emfa adwenkyere emra enyoma ni bi o a yeso afidie so kra na you just have to preach calm obetimi a wonimdie but because enya wo na ya sanction wo say to one amon no obetwen no aka so okay ti si bi no because only a ma o na nko for actually propaganda theories, conspiracy theories, creative movies. If you create your friends' imaginations, create images to be around the theme. Because, for instance, let me about it you the time chopper. If you program for because the woman more watching to be an all too improving. You understand? If that's what let me about it, then we got to be a mind that be the truth. If it's never something it's your toy. But if you be coming for crown, never phobic and all to meet you. If when no, we name the Nimpona and Central for what you do is that you preach calm. Calm. Because you see, you're building a very simple society. So that is why I certain portions of Ghana to say, only a power comfort is here. Will be a OP or the BB Bible. So I say, so the incident you see, you're a whole assembly member and not a father. What does it mean? Or no, you're opinion leader, who play leadership role. Or no, from TSS, say, Krumono, you're pie of you from for there be the air to get from for the empire police station, and after that, the empire near money or buying young friend, a year bamboo for no home family. Not dance here, your young found conquer. But because you build a simple society, and we are someone on your opinion, a dancing in in your type from what way body to read the second way, the agent way, the way pay. At least you are celebrating. Ah, branch and maybe I'm so name or survey or market. And now, I buy you on war, your friend is saying, boy, you walk, Brono Swana, or Neno, them was saying. And when you so I make a back end or not to tell. No fish will beat me nothing, where we are going to beat me nothing. It's or punch a area boy who said that you could join a one and you take it to me. Oh, yes, we'll turn the kind of research all kind of Kung fu. We Pia, we oh, you beside we are there to show when we are here now. Now, and then a corner or bomb you are joining the mammy pine Kung fu. That simple society that you have building up. And you are so alarming and disturbing. So the media should not be part of fueling that agenda because about that we are almost safe.
Okay.
And part that you see you are no longer safe because one build a simple society. Somebody will just go organize people and say let's go and attack with you. And before you see, you are under siege. And that's why the media, your best threat. Yeah, nice. So exercise is the interest there. We must have interest. People be anywhere their own interest. But they do a Juma Yemuakojo. Yes, interest and then some chance that can share a Juma technicalities. We are, and only we are not near about the interest. A woman, no, the boys are near the interest. No, it's the identity Kaya. Ever saying you might be brave because you have much time crying because you how many years now? Flood the means you want crying. Maka. What's all that? Someone say you see here now they're trying to now we are Canadian, we know some for your daughter, we know so you see, we know to and 1 year, near Baby. You see, various highways or my gun and one marking spare also for paper. Sadly, we should be holding a first highway engineer before Parliament. Say, markings are paper. People drive in the night, and markings, one of the Juma and say a broad visibility in the night. But the event I accident is here. Now for near the theories na them. Abba, Abu Sumpon Eddie Muja, Abbey Phone Eddie, when they say, near Jama for Fraba, near town. We cannot build this nation this way. Never say media, more audience, more following. But more than a year, hope that the come one simple society, it will be more that channel. Jatabano, sitting with Fian, we need na after 1 year, Bassa. But that's how they say, in Kusuna, the man on the business, what the same wall.
Yate, ora Kofi Yabua, Yabada say, any additional face so I advise out there, my Yanko Punchal.
Yanko Punchal, because you Ghana, your interest, say a bad one, I nation. And your best friend, whatever it will take, I obey. Say you be emotions every year in my emu. Na ya boa, na ya di ubu any because you for yourself, no pay a using common. Say, much margin about send a minute in your maybe yarding. But me need you be at them. Me need you be at them. Me attack you be a personality and competence. And you can dissent without insulting. You have a threat. Yankees are be free bam and yapping me at the typical rural community. I need here. Share bedroom one of us out there, your mind meeting. I dare how be also to make a bro, because we need you be at it. But the experience in that partner. And this is who we are. The other threat. So I agree, you're participating democracy, but you can say, on my own, you only be free what you are saying, and prepare your and my more man penny for fire, you see a division. Now that's about the drew, so what the cat and me no may the come woman the entity the Darby. Young more dry, you could you cross me down your school. Say you were different parties, you were different parties. The ain't or take more accountable. But maybe the margin of the bobo, I'm not taking away yet, but yeah, because Kojo Preko Dankwah, the other can be anya. Because specifically, I never do better be a mayan beauty of mine, beauty of mine. You didn't need any sheer, who will be be canal and yard in the grammar. So when you see in the popular research or emotions in free, sentiments free, and one of them, because you do so a diagram. I might be called who interest. What could you ask yourself? And say the answer, say, India for I do be a fan of red. I do look about through West Africa, I say, BBC for you know me. Na country of origin and another one. Only my 20 year India for going to that space. You actually have a condition. What if me country on say India for me say young most especially Ghana Muslim West Africa Muslim. Send a yard in the city any of the town. Also India for a back IT or West Africa, I'm in the bar.
Yeah.
I'm on the various IT Numa institutions like say IT India born here. Omu say in IT panty, omu giant is stable in Mebuno. Na ye IT interest or more handing na be there because you can be competing with them in other affairs the continent. In the other thing omu so in Rubonem Braya, Emma omu health say again.
Defensive.
You understand? In the other try now because a corner here on a young quiet you want here. Any other interest here.
Mesbeda say Ura Kofi Yabua, former National Security Operative and no AD and Komono with regards to ADC and FA. So too many conspiracy theories are also as to whether helicopter no crash no if he had and as if he and no home come and EDCC and 3 minutes past the hour of 8 Kessben 92.9 Facebook Kessben TV on DSTV's channel 364 na Facebook Go TV channel 121. I can hit patch some can show say sebi say ohun edodo in terms of body pains and I face so no menstrual cramps ne arthritis and I feel some muscle pains in Nadia. Me patrol use so I can hit patch ne bebo I can hit patch no patch bi asa wotia no cotton wotia no a obehu se adif krata fite bi etare ni ye no we ya obehu brownish color bi eno na fatare bi bia pain no wo ya no na sha watare go so obekọ adwumo so obeda wo so obeden yo mandatory of almost about 12 to 15 hours do betene se widie no heat bi ekom ye pa eno ebetumi abo nti jaisa painkiller na wototo na wonom no tablet no edoso na fe use ahonka heat patch na ebebo ye pa ope bi ato obenye bi ewo Accra na your Origin Chemist, Art Farmer, and after DM Sphere, Sap Health, obenye wo Kumasi so Danny Farmer, Alpha Dio, Panacea Pharmacy, Kufrodia, Gapson Pharmacy, Eastern Chemist, and after Tamale, Malarigo Pharmacy, Takrade, Boakwa Pharmacy, and then Knock Chemist. Mongo some person we original distributors and also mon friend 0599 802297 0599802297 and that's 0248509003 and that's 05366453334 and no honka heat patch or say fail heat no so na make catch say study care about say flex on 600 herbal mixture no about be PM into the one say titi na face no sexual weaknesses in no flex on 600 herbal mixture ebe to me aboa so and na mo wo waist pains na face so constipation no elephant herbal mixture and also be to me aboa ye pa 100% herbal ebe to me aboa Sadiq herbal powder and no ebo ma cocoa a wo ho so ho a wo bre nyina no etumi tini nyina efi honom so and elephant ointment no for waist and body pains backbone romanticism swollen legs nyina no ebebo so na ho and also say wo back pain bone bia no pain bia no use to elephant ointment na ho ebeto so wo pedudo to ayenko Okanshi drug lane KPD enterprise Kings Walk Herbal Rupash Herbal Tenatet Herbal Helus Herbal Tamam a Little George Pharmacy Ashamani Ekus Pharmacy na Fesun Koko a Hillside Pharmacy Kumase a Colina Herbal Misty Herbal Apidank Herbal and after Freddy Cole Men's and after Mama Becky wonsa ebe can be ewo honom shishe is a Herbal Center ewo Maureen Junction near the toll booth from on 0244 153511 and that's 055 799 7797 onsa ebeka Sadiq Herbal Center na onyomo edi enkomo. Check with your time is 6 minutes past the hour of 8 where your Kessben 92.9 and face no your Kessben TV media the oman so for Kojo Preko Dankwah me ba be din komo na enkomo na ba be di no very critical Emma the new patriotic party, the MPP, is right after every single thing, especially after September 2nd, right? If so, memory serves me right, September 2nd. Yes, make a Akwitia by-election now. Campaign no besha see pa. But I've read an interesting article coming from Union Bema lawyer Ankasa Urakwesi Kwating, who is campaign spokesperson for the Ken Ejapon campaign with the Nkomobi Watropa. Second chances are not a reward for weak candidates. They are for winnable ones. Come on, and I'm a bit Sisiano now. Maakye and there are very critical issues that have been raised by Babidi and also when Komosisia or text messages and I feel so WhatsApp messages in Nano Fabrem na making Nina and I have one here before I go to Rakweku. What I have here is from Masawood in Kumasi Bantamo saying, good morning, fantastic KPD. Good morning to you too, Masawood. I'll say the loss of these dedicated leaders are not only tragedy for Ghana, but the African continent as a whole. Their untimely passing leaves a void in public service and leadership that will be deeply mourned. May the souls of the departed rest in peace. Regards to Honorable Sampine, former KMA boss, and then Coca. And then I have one from another good friend of mine, Captain Capito Gosso. I say, in fact, we should learn and put good measures in place to stop always doing everything spiritual. If I may ask, what about abroad every day when plane crashes? Are they not human beings? Ghana will like concert or no so Nidia or de eba no. And then I have another good friend of mine, Rekweku Buedi, patriotic voice Bichim Mijiri song when you're saying, I am pleading with Ghanaians, let us all come together and fight this Galamsey menace because it is not one man's fight. Regards to Dr. Baumi Adjunga John Buedu of Bantampa Mavis Howard Kumsen and Mr. Collins, Executive Director, Save Our Environment Foundation, and also Nidia Ode Ebai. And then the last one before I move to my man, Teacher Kojo Tepa, or saying, All of us should take a lesson from this tragic accident. It was avoidable. From the presidency and the lands ministry to the Ghana Armed Forces, I think they all contributed to this. Again, we should stop window dressing this Galamsey problem. Akufo-Addo did the same and it never worked. Why should John Mahama continue the same direction? Ghana needs strong and courageous leaders who will be bold, who will make bold decisions without fearing the loss of their followers. Regards to Chairman Odenoho Kwekwa Koka, Honorable Eric Nana Ajiman Prempe MP for Ahafo North, and after Justin Frimpong Kodier and Mester. Owusu Bempa, the Inshires Constituency Chairman, hopeful. Most of Mode Abanono. I will continue to read the other ones now. Abanin and Barian Shasie, Nafe Yendin Komo with a year ora Kwesi Kwating, legal practitioner, and I face so or campaign spokesman person for a year the Ken Ejapon team. Lawyer, be able to
good morning.
Morning. Already adum now so.
Already ne made ni me.
Nice.
Mami, my tenasi, mami nchia. Ahwefo ne atiefo nyina.
Yeah.
Member obi ache. Na sebio still yewo eyiem.
Yes.
Ehwese me hwe wachi ha. Ani o screen so. Me hu se Mantia Sebio no on more embark on official duties on more sure more crown. I think say to live with us for the rest of our lives. But a book assumes and one is see Muslim before sa kwenya so de ama abusu nyina yakọ na amobi aso shedding. Ghana men I just hope say it will be a turning care for all of us. Openina no kasa on the hunim die nti one more eka bia de adwe na ebe de ye beche
na no kre
na at the end of the day you know the empanifo ye hwehwemu ebe hu nyina na I'm sure say the betuefo but me broadly no I want to expand the conversation even to the broader conversation on accident in general, and emergency responses. Yeah, the car accident was some vehicle and issues be a car na open kwa. But as a minor, even accident to crash if you see be out the gas a journey, maybe a jatoa a crime so near fast how do you respond to it? It's a conversation that we need to have it. There as a country, you share damn fire ninya day and go home be brave. We and okra free while over road. Wo de wa file phone ne ko Google na AI ne busa ne say fiti wo de ana tap bra o man de nya for public fiti ne enye time nya independence was for republic 92 year o wo de say fan say 92 till na obusa even AI and I say obusa Google kra say o man the number of deaths nya on our roads alone obeka cho say reported deaths on road crashes. There's you were unreported, and that reported could even be more than the reported, or a bit in Kwana the IAP. Oshabaka Joseph 92 about BCB 2005. They said any proper online records to be a Nemo heck the host is here, no year projection. Osu say a minimum between 60,000 to 90,000 deaths. So, a beer Sebi Kafach, a beer no. And quiet penifo attitude maybe we didn't get the attention but there's a canker moja de if you go so and I wouldn't nipa no the obaya de amon mine and I know the ACA me yonko ba kwa me frɛ o se dwaso de yes wo mo konhia mu no madu kwan ho ba bi no mo so mu age na nkora wo mayom ho yi na Fofi Antoata tanka na de kwahwe mu a ye yanti asem papa nkora be 15 or 16 or nyina ye de ehwero mo nkwa no I'm sure it should have also been part of the learning curve and Kessben man needed attention and Kessben de nya but benifo ma hwero mo nkwa hadwen but them say addition ye wom ne say as a country no when it comes to the emergency responses when it comes to how a nipa would through accident in general, whether road, whether because Diana in history be a woman about quiet day. And for me is a conversation. Kumasi to Accra road, bra made them a fast day. here Cape Coast Accra Cape Coast road no crane say koba your chances of survival is about 60% or even less. Say camp no crepa one or the other. So fuck must so koba a biana there is some slight chance be say kawe an accident. Media to me there is some slight chance be say could be overtaking wrong driving be a quine be baby or engineering works be be or dodgy be me say atu be the how will you live in your own country? Nya obi am so your own country. Let's say be uko prepare dia and now uko hiwa busu for and no ukwa your chances of survival is even minus because we be a bit my we can't live in a country like that. And yet and comma yet d because you are normalizing no. Aya me aja tum so card a kwensi ayede eba enti ni nipa kura wu asebi o nyame na de ma nyame ana yede eje o nipa de asebi o wo de ka nipa ho ya wo nkwa de otimi yede ewu and ne ka we nyina de ahye trima and we don't take any action. So the me comma dachi bi no platforms like this a question no and the other media platforms no any penifo can be woman no is a conversation they need to bring on board. I remember recently me di honi say no recently na me can asema about washrooms na me tro be say musuma contract ya me tro ba ko ten say mentiase say public washrooms here too mentiase because who say when it comes to sanitation and nipa so obey your hu ya etimi tu wo baby etimi si wo baby a I didn't na me nam circle ha the nearest public institution and even private institution se se si campo na ye twa for maintenance mintimi nkotwa once year na two si da mintimi nko yam hui na je se me so asabi o se jonso wo me blood da musa ediko me fear spenters amete on public health on even sanitation on everything but anya dia we have been bold to talk about it so but me can maybe me nam London na me pese me yem huye na me wura mu e ho no me swap ka obi anti ho obe swipe card no o swipe na ma access no ayede wawurum eno kura ma enhu me ye mistake or swipe twice ho na kobuza no ya to state na nyeska okwa mu so had ye ni maintenance culture we are be ni ho say be obi our maintenance culture what we have a maintenance budget and maintenance personnel ade ba ko amisun fi mi am papa Dr. Dutchun won also no we are be ni ho your maintenance culture there is not nowhere in the world your maintenance culture because when you leave people so mo for ma dwenya de mo ya mo nye but you need to have a way of say no kwa mo de generate sika say nka ye won hye say obi a Kessben hakra na o twemo no atimi ebe ye ne ho yie wa ha say one city na two cities a watwia ho nipa wo hwe ho no de sisi ho ohun kebe promote but these are conversations we don't have and the basic necessities of life the basic decisions of life also as a country no also adwene de echo and it is along that line na me koka accident no ho accident nyina ye de eka but sabi onye sie wi nti ye nyina ye nchechire re ne ye ho de
I mean it's scary o kan a road accident no ho asem I mean in the space of just about 6 months your friend is saying o check even reporter road traffic for regulation for no bar. I mean it's too huge. You have almost about 12,000 and something cars in accidents. Yes. I mean you have fatalities almost about 1,054 or 504. You have accidents
in 6 months.
In 6 months. I mean, accident in Quincy is almost about 7,000 and beyond. Some figures.
How
I mean,
do we get
just 6 months, January down to June, July. Yeah, yo.
And this Ghana, if you are being very bold, road accidents, it couldn't pass in here.
Yeah.
Road accidents, it couldn't pass in poverty, it couldn't pass in cholera, it couldn't pass in COVID-19, ni pass in the Osha, okay, can be almost say, Osha average in the crowd every year, biano, between 2,000 to 3,000 deaths, the reported ones. For our reported no can one project here. You are looking at about 3,000 deaths. How did we get here?
Very scary.
And now when the sad part and they say what socio-economic implications.
Yes.
Say papa na ono hwe nkwara wo fie no. O chena wo free ma. Ye na yi wi ase no beko ni akoto na twe. Ni nyina be fie.
Adwada memenda obi a be fie.
Na unim o se ahia de bia o na me ofa ni ho mo fa na hwe me no okuwie me ofa free mu papa free mu me ma me so okokwan so aba okoye agikwan so okofa adwene ne se ka ne butuye ana wanti ma hwe me bio eno ano no na nipa the whole long chain life say Any system be a crash so you want proper insurance policy be a not been free. And for me, I'm a fan, of course. I mean, I support Kennedy Japan. I'm a spokesperson, but I want to say, Keboko 2028 for 2028 elections, conversations like this also come on board.
Sure.
Not only Galamsey, but maybe to say road safety. It should be on the table because people who are na yede, young can want some or plans and they say, opening Kennedy Japan, Quabe's number for address road safety. So, and this is one among the neighbor. A Quabe's number for address road safety on sanitation. You will normally be brewa just on the basis of enforcement alone. Kibiti Mukai, a breeze can nice. Anyway.
Yane aye Urakwesi Kwati Nedi and Komono aye spokesperson Emma aye Kennedy Japan campaigning no AD and Komono. But yamra aye campaign and what is really happening. First of tell us, how is Ken doing? Campaign to say?
My memfa ofidi sonka Ura Ken otu kwan kakra.
Okay.
We say a ye ba ye nyina nipa esu ni mpanimfo kwacheche a Ira Mahama so no ne mfa se pani kesi a wote ayi epono so ho to no obia kwa na yakwoche na wodi anim na ya chia busua nyina em se kentimi mebe otu kwan kakra.
Okay.
Me susu se enekosi wo chade na nyankopod na yedai abedru na ono so abechia.
Okay.
Enti ne ho ye oti asem ne ha ne pa ende sebi se nyo no nko a nipa bi a we nipa kan bia no e wo se ade we ade ye se yede wo yam yede e hyewo but aside that no se party ne kwa ye nsese se until zeke o se do uzika ke be wi akwati aba election no campaign sem no ke enya de entwentwen so kakra nanka etimi wi akwati ana na fe nyina aka ho ayede abo because also ye de ehu hia ana no kre sebio wa ho den te say ya say we fa party no so we anti party na sem na akoye campaign na wo chena wo na ye to abakra ma na party na medi wachi a ahoden no NCP ema de obesa wo yo no untimi nya de enyo nti na ye de di super na akwati ahonkoma na ye de ye dia odi tu kwan say or down ho kakra ye aba so no businessman it be go to kwa obo we see aba fa ha kwa hwe kwa pengo for wo boa enyuma ne ade but the nekwesi o cha de enyame de na but I mean aside that say any nipa kasa phone so bia ba ko mienu bi say ne obi ya so akoyi ase akosia party for mo dimi kasa won chia wo obo chia wo party for so ba ofie so obo chia wa ene sebio de ya obo kasa woni wada Roma bia wo yira wo fufu kura yentwa bi nya dai emo mo se milo bi nso anopa ye de kakra gu nso ma ye de amo mo kakra so se ho aseka ho bi ne ya ajefa ka nyina ka ho bi se ne ko so kakra
but in a mix of this whole issue of accidentality, the nation is mourning and all that, in your article you made a certain line within your article creating the impression that in as much as your friend is saying mourning is going on and all that with regards to Dr. Bawumia even attending and even going to visit the president and the team and all that, there are people within Bawumia's camp almost so baby in Ashanti region thereabout. They also campaigning when indeed the NEC had said that after Akutiano we will have to come back and do proper or full campaign, as you call it. But people are down there. Your friend is saying campaign is specific with the Bawumia camp. How true is that?
Openi, we are young. You can book be. Penny be sabe or draw for the then Russia regime. No maybe an ekoso. Now here's one. Now the same approach of governance. No, na ekoso Ghana and Nkrumah regime. Nkrumah kwa bread party. Can them crack book no secondary school na leche onu kwa dem so ban na ade nyina book ni atweche animal farm openi otro ye no e friend George Orwell otro kata ni yepa na George Orwell wo kan animal farm na the summary of it say emo nyina no so mpefa ahode o mo so mo kan nyina say wo mo e boss no ye nipa no o tete wo mo mi fa so mo nyina esia ye ku no mo so ye hwe ni anya fa ahode na fei enyina no obi atime di ne ho obi atimi ekɔ na afom obi ekɔ ebura no akɔwe bi nkatia no akɔwe bi asem bi anya de eni ho na no mu nim sɛ animal farm no kingdom no mo te no na opani na no ho no the farm owner na todwane kutwa grass ne ade nyina de ebro mo no mo ye somebody omo di omo ho ese mo nyina fe omo declare independence freedom ebi ni Ghana dey freedom opani na on dem story ne de omo wie no mo ye so mo hye mra no mo se hwe sa abra ne ni party no na nipa ye no ho so wo soro ye de esen ye nti aso mo kan say omo mra na so mo say first law mo de ban say all animals are equal. Afei no kɔ n'anim no wɔn ko hwɛ ya na afei ye kɔ pepa baabi kakra ka ho wɔn say all animals are equal but some are more equal than others. Wɔn say baby adu no afei mu on post abam we so na ye president we so na ye vice we so na ye director we so na ye general manager we so ye HR head enti wa amfa no so a dining hall grant me nko no nya dwane ayɛ edi. It is the same thing that I felt was playing out here. Ashemra, party neck the directive I had aba. One must say, yentimi enko ye campaign, yen suspend the campaign. Be our aspirant when is ready who be our support or some party no. Party nisi say de kibo kwanse also ye de udi so. And so akwa semra in terms of enforcing emra I say ebinu wo ha apply because they are more equal than others. Based on Jojo was some or other or can or animal farm. Let's say video more sopa. I na me bisa mo say can ya pon pa no kobusa amra use the man TTC from we here campaign or former. Say we open secret videos so me more fa chama unto.
I was just about to ask you.
Or ye campaign wo Ashanti Region Dr. Bawumia. Honorable Chairman Sabon so a campaign e wa Ashanti Region. And not only him is moving with the team. Me am of Akufijuma Maxwell. So ye campaign or the team no move. Hanti eno no one and man no mo anya de any so no. It's directive but Sebio I don't have the enforcement powers. I know I leave it to one more home to me no the National Executive Committee no make that decision no. But almost so mo hwe wo ho there then at the end of the day we leave it to the jury out there. Say Ghana for her so be aye there. But nya hokwa na ha me. De na ha me kese pa menua say so say to me now open na open dia koso nipa and this na to me no nya na nipa na koso mo ni ho a enfa na koso to me no koso mo na eni koso nipa so dia say nipa ewo amanem nipa wo yonimu so nipa wo yaudi mu a you also have to be sensitive and read the mood of the nation and act accordingly and this
yes
na unya to me ni wie no ochana nipa e wo Ghana nyina ma no susum na so yesi Yesu aba na obi efrima o nyame de obi akwa de na abaye. And so I felt they should have been sensitive to the mood of the nation. So mining in a penny, or mining in a treasure, or mining in our young. Penny for you will muku and your paso. Now, a quite dear Yakran say, they say be a normal more private business. They died in the line of duty, and they were not NDC ministers, they were ministers of state. Who's a cross less anywhere after you become a state asset, so I felt say they should have been a bit sensitive to them. Because especially when even Dr. Bawumia himself, or no penny na nkasa odi animo no. He say munyina na no yehunu so ole ref ne one Joyce Bawa no mo kasa ne Jomama mo kasa okochia mo. Ndi penny na kra ene oman ni nyina ye dey e twadwa adwo. Ye nyina we are all morning. Na e be hu say ne penny ne nkofo bi and if it was Sebia kwasi kwati bi kra na wo form no ye campaign akameti ase. Say kwasi kwati be ka Sebia ono youthful exuberance e be amantesem kakra ye dey e won no so but nipa mbobo we these are high profile people one more ya de bi na bia meme ya de kwa na nya chemensa betima kasa ekwasi ade we de achia meboa opani ma so ekofu dwo so kwasi ade we de oye wa anye ni entesa chama untu was me na me chairman of a region nti we de achia party directives sisi but omo nti ase bom hunu se emfunso bi hanya de eni ho na omo ekoya na omo ye campaign ehun nsem bibire ba ya no mo ko ekoka se Dr. Bawumia 41.6 dada nti saadi ya man enkono hia less than 10% ma me tworo sa kata I'm sure say bekum
yes e ba bekum
but even enokwa no sa asem no pese me kan ofidie say it's not tenable ya to abawi na ka say obi wo 41.6 dada per that extension of that logic it presupposes that then this should also have 50 of obi wo 41 dada it presupposes that this is only 56 and also 56%. Then what is the essence of going for the election even in the first place? You are 12 vote in crowd. It can only be a basis for judging performance, but it can be a basis to say a vote. You could go and you could even get more than 41% in the subsequent election. It can actually also reduce. Maybe and this do you even go campaign say you to about no now no back for bakunya 41% into all you need no on all kind of percentage terms so here but say a be 10% or 10 there. Even if you want to look at the percentage term, we lost with about in the nominal values, with close to 1.7 million votes. Okay. With about 2.1 million.
But my main clear winning we enough a establishment in the world. Who do you want to fault? One up say bonus to boss is here. A case where the leader is doing, a national thing. Na neck, which is supposed to be taken care of, and you maybe say no. Why won't you then address this issue with neck? But you want to politically, quote, I should say, to really draw Dr. Bawumia into this fray. Why won't you say it's a neck in any Juma? They should establish the fact that the Mantiano was your campaign, it is not fair. To the whole campaign structure, no whether your good self, Bawumia Nemu, and Brian or Maakye, but rather you tend to see Bawumia being put into this fray.
No, I don't think it really has to do with him per se. But at the end of the day, he's the ultimate beneficiary. Oh yeah, sure say. Mpenifo ya yebo bomudi so mo campaign. Anko mudi kudi di ahemfo bi atam Ashanti region. Aya be affect na come from.
Why won't you blame neck? I don't blame neck.
No, I
don't know for neck. Dr. Bawumia.
No, me kasa matter. Me say at the end of the day, he's the ultimate beneficiary. Oh yeah, sure say. Some penifo ya mbobo mudi. And then so mo me ense nyina afaka edi group akojina menhia. No mudi di mpenifo e wo hatema. Ana ye did Dr. Bawumia abata mu in Dr. Bawumia's name. Oh yeah, sure say ka on from kan jom say mpenifo menhia de e ho sem de ye mfa nya group anti. Hwe no man kwanko ye dwebia na sa homa so bia ho. Bibia nya me nkan boko. Won fa chiri kwanko pacho. So at the end of the day, when you become the consequential beneficiary of an action or inaction of some people, especially when they are fronting your campaigner, you cannot purge yourself from it. That will be running away from responsibility. Ultimately, you have to take responsibility for it.
Yeah, but ultimately, the party has to take responsibility.
Make a home, me kasem bi enye. No reckon the Japan ehu ana wote na wan kire me se kwasi kasa we die enye kasa me pa. Oh, yes, also one endorse them here. It means it presupposes that he endorses what I did. Again, there is also the party sitting there, me a member of the party, which ordinarily, by virtue say me a member of the party, no one also has a responsibility to be the party near the NCC. So, I don't want to go there. That's why I leave you to the jury out there. So, say be woman there, your say. It is someone who say, and say you move we leave it to them. So. Say woman the directive in the buy according to them who say obiya muswa fair deal. But you see the dangerous precedent that the sex is that at the end of the day one here or China can Japan so end the camp to us ni nkofo what is former you here to be an unfair and an undue advantage to, against us in yes day yentinsi form engineer kwa Japan say na say na no chairman sabos mu kwa yi bi gra no obiya nka won asem omeboa uzo no so TSC form bia former boss Dr. Zeduchum was na mo di akwati ehunahuna yi na akwati kwa say eti ba ko bo nteza na no de ngofo so nkofo egufo mo so ye campaign 4 months 5 months pay to election and yes ade ameso kra meja me nkofo ayede agum obiya nkwa campaign na obiya ja ne nkofo gum so obiya nkwa campaign ho na akwati adwuma no. That is, for me, the fundamental problem. It's not really about a blame game, but the principle, the underlying principle of the point that I'm raising is that it doesn't give a good picture. It doesn't send a good. It doesn't give a good precedent, and most importantly, it presents an outlook that shows us that we have a weak leadership, which may not necessarily be so, because the party now chana wobuso let us say okra no umfo ehu bia nya dey emomo abo no so de hu na we ne hu
and a party so kan he leadership so kan
as at now there's what can be akwa
so then they become weak.
No, that is the impression by that conduct will show out there. Say na say the party benefit kwa so mo kan some mo ne so and I'm not sure say these 3 high-profile individuals are the people who want to send that impression. It be a omo enti asiem no be a mo de no mo enim penifo na edim komo keke. but nipa bebree almost so hwe no almost say any impression ya mpanimfo yi send there e just party no kra no mpanimfo no say o mo kasema e bi nyede eni so, which for me does not augur well for the growth of our party.
Okay.
But minima adria anabota entia emo omokoye campaign no. But at the end of the day it happened.
But how did you see it as a campaign? No one say omo kan then I would say so omo koye instruction omo ko say na omo ko say enkoto aba mo bi then omo kan ya would say a campaign. Oh,
now we campaign what as a campaign I say ka say to aba mo bi answer.
Oh, send ye cheche buntine bia when who say you want to me nam ha or namasi ha be.
No, I think say in Ashanti region I mean most of the videos that we are seeing and the reports that we are getting in Kofo you know omo kasa no. Who say omo message omo de nam say yema Ira Dr. Bawumia a second chance. No mo ahoɔden pa omo de gya ho say second chance no kwa no wo hwɛ openi President Kofo onya akwanya ameyema no kompre no. President Kofo arokwa de ma na akwanya ma na yede e conference. No no kra so aka say Dr. Bawumia kwa de 41.6% dada.
Yes.
To here kakra bi na yede aka ho. Na the closest contender which is the Japan kwa de 0%. Nti eni kwa kra so mo yede e consider no. And then ensem bi asebio and it may not be good for radio. But I'm on no suit me the APM. But I mean, I don't want to repeat them because they may appear divisive. Emwa party near the encankro. Sebio say me okaniu and I'm so say you see and to go fin day. But for instance, one more history about say Dr. Bawumia 41%, 41.6%. It's not accurate. It's a misleading narrative. You're talking about one hour 41.6%. I go here. It was easy one. Did you next election? You be carry free 41.6. You be carry free 41.6. Yeah, and then this is what Harold already has 56. And the end carry free. And there is no point we should even be contesting for the less because somebody already has 56%. It's a idea as a sebi wish young for who so much more ha and our cancer. So bu nipa pa na hu say nipa oka asemache no nipa ne ya nipa na adwemu da ho kan wo ye badwen ba asem we unka che no would bu nipa no say nipa no the person can reason out of the issues unka za azemu nje. So we offer to 1% obi aka bia with 0 we asem we o me kai mu oduma o emunye du what you say now the most substantive issue has to do with the second chance argument no mo ye no correct. Openi a friend President Kofo nya second chance eko minimpre no so. Openi Akufo adokra onya even the third chance and sakwa no yede o wini. Now you see when you are giving a historical account of events SEC or party mo, you also have to situate it in a very true context. What is the true context? The true context is say in MPP we've had 4 flag bearers. Ye ni bi film en fabisu nyade enhyem to me I saw a analysis of data no so afa ba bia be dey ebebo no so macroeconomic figures indicators in say when the fundamentals are weak the exchange rate will expose you no but you were other micros so in the variables be so fa kan ho a kasem no kan kan nyade enkoye basa ke bia ka enkoye when the fundamentals are there can maybe something different. But this is the point in MPP say the music enya flag bearers mi party na yom openi a odi kan pa Professor Dubois 1992 so kai
yes
na edi kan to abama no no openi a otoso so President Kofo Professor Dubois de ma ne ko ba akope President Kofo ye ma ne ko ni mpre no ye de eso President Kofo adokwa de ni mpre sa so asa na obe de obewini na nim ana Dr. Bawumia so ye de e bai na nim wo hwe the history of MPP a sankofo we nyina no se ebe mu akwa na ye ma unko bi is contingent on ade ba akope performance ti asemi yo se mpanifo kra aka na kanka sem se amfo na ye dey e kire ne ntoaso meboa amfo na kire ne ntoaso na wa mo homode e dey ne nipa timi epia na mpanifo so aka se de ofu duapa na ye dey epia no nti wo dey ma me some historical account to be with relation to the figures omo ye dey omunyai openia your friend Professor Dubois wono na ye first time wono ekọ general election ne ko general election na ka wono ko 92 but 92 no pre 92 near military era we say 92 no and they did the PNDC 1 sabre na PNDC 2 na a free mo ntina we transitioning from the military era into what we call the Republican. And the fourth Republican here, I give you birth to the 1992 Constitution. We had the foreign powers, another thing, putting so much pressure on Mr. Rawlings, say, onko into democratic dispensation. It's okay.
Yes.
So, and tell you, when you ask me, can say, one more call contest, no, the assembly you. Despite, sir, coming from that suppressive and hostile environment, na ewo hono. Still, Professor Dankwah or managed to secure about 1.2 million votes and they represented 30.29%. Percentage in 30.29%. Now, unim sabre no say to abakra na and no we use opaque ballot boxes.
Yes.
Now, he said only military leader or no na transition or minor in the friends democracy. No na coalition. Na wono tumi o woni ni huhu ewo. Ngofo kwa dim metro aba. Na makoto aba na wonya 30.29. No, President Rawlings nya 58.4%. Gab no 1.1 million. How here me pa. The difference no 1.1 million. Then, because in the history of our fourth republic, the worst difference that we've ever had was the last 2024 election. See, this is a catch us say I'm for a better so. That was in 92. 96, Professor Dankwah has akwa. Or no find a party by you. No, so 96 was have a kubu. No, or yes, or yes, work on President Kojo na party for say there be. Despite circumstances and the war pre-military era, transitioning aba democracy mu to aba na transparency ni 30.9 na wo kra 30.2 na wo nyae no. Kojo wo say there be man nto aso. Nti wo call 96 January election party na ama Professor Dankwah Yankobio. He lost the primaries to President Kojo. The President Kojo then won 96 primaries no the party no call na President Kojo and President Rawlings here dey call the next election in 96. Na sabre na party no more organized kakra. President Kojo nya 2.83 million votes and represented 39.67%. Nti wo hwa President Kojo move Professor Dankwah 30.29% and of say 39.67%. But what
Mitiopa.
Oh, baby, I'm mediation. And now President Rawlings win 4 million votes, around 57.37%. Gabono who hear me pa. Difference of the votes no so na 1.2 million votes. And you hear difference and that Professor Dankwah and Rawlings mu 1.1. President Kojo the 1.2. But don't hear the nominal figures in the petrol na in terms of percentage na President Kojo they are free 30% 39%. Me chira trajectory no match the trend me ya trend analysis say in MPP no obia about or appreciate from the predecessor baby or day of a free. Nti wa antimi anya na the performer when a party for be who say o modern ba day anko so nti wono nya day and twice just like Professor Dankwah here no. Now Mary 96 the next time you saw the flabber call first for the first time after Kojo free office no the year 2008. Okay.
Yeah.
The year 2008 was President Akufo-Addo. President Akufo-Addo by no him say one President Akufo-Addo quite the highest office had no occupy in his history as a young man who wanted to lead the country. The highest office was the Minister of State. It was a shuffle between Attorney General and the Foreign Affairs. Okay.
Yeah, Foreign Affairs.
President Akufo-Addo in 4.15 million votes. They represented 49.13%. And you know how for President Kojo first time or they equal 39 to 49 or the very plus 10% higher day account. And these are facts and data that I'm reading to you. And you hear President Akufo-Addo there. President Akufo-Addo there. The first time he is the only first person in the history of MPP. You had not coalition were winning on this first round.
Is it not the fact that around that time situations changing? I mean, you're looking at Ora Kojo around that time. You had Rawlings who has done the 2 terms, right? So politically, I mean, the state in itself tells you that Obiadi 8 years is enough for a certain particular party to knock off. It is Ora Kojo to me winning appreciating for the very first time. Are you not looking at Akufo-Addo? Are you not appreciating that fact? Sadie Nintina Manabasa.
Okay, Minya. Wasama kano asama do. There are factors prevalent. No ma ewohwa enunti affect some way or somehow it would have influenced the outcome of the elections then.
Yes.
But I remember just a mental picture of 2008 when President Akufo-Addo contested. In 2008, we had something that we call global economic recession. So
yes,
global economic recession, no, America pan hit your market pa. Na America no, hit America no, and all developing economies, including economies from Africa and third world countries like us, no, the impact was that very worse. 2008 and a Bush a free officer actually Obama here a buyer. Just giving a picture. And you 2008 you could cry kono. When Ghana Kofo describe Kofo as the worst leader they've ever had. People describe him as even a tay. So on the obese Ghana be we are Ghana seeker. I'm just giving you say a fear 2008 was one of the worst year the whole world was globally challenged. Be a friend the global economic recession 2008. Into the world economy in 2008 was that very bad. But you see, then again, President Akufo-Addo's popularity then was still able to take the party to an election. Not only did we win for the first time, but he was also able to take us for the first round. He was also able to take us to the runoff. Again, I'm not even making a case about who won the general election per se, but now we are comparing the figures. What I say, and how wide the figures are. Now we are comparing, say, the trajectory, we be free him or the core him. We are not saying, say, oh, President Dr. Bawumia shouldn't lose election. Election in the history of MPP will be a with the exception of President Akufo-Addo losing the first round or winning the first round. Will be a lose the first round.
Yes.
That is not the argument that we are making. But Olusu would say, does he give us hope? Does he inspire us?
But then again, losing with that huge numbers now is also not the fact that around that same time, the conditions around that time also did not favor that candidate now. Dr. Bawumia and favor no. Oh, that around that time, the same thing. There were issues. You raised
it's a very valid question. The point I'm making is that
yes,
there are conditions precedent and conditions contingent on which the public based on it. And I know there are no two ways about that.
Okay.
It affects both MPP and NDC.
Okay.
It affected Kofo, it affected Akufo-Addo, it affected Dr. Bawumia.
Sure.
And the same conditions will affect President Mahama.
Sure.
It will still affect Professor any other person, Professor Mills.
Yes.
So those conditions are constant.
Okay.
Why? Because our problems as a country are the same. Economy, poor roads, health, infrastructure, education.
Yes.
These are conditions that are always there.
Good.
These are conditions that are the trouble.
Good.
Every 4 years, these are conditions that are the trouble. You cannot suggest to me, say, in the case of Dr. Bawumia, his conditions were so peculiar and so unique and so different. And that's why I'm giving until I'm medical for 2008. Well, if the argument is that the economy had broken down, I am suggesting to you that in 2008, the economy was also worse. Yes, so President Akufo-Addo's popularity was able to push the party into an election. We even won for the first time. To the extent say you could lose the second round what time? Okay.
Yes.
Time with about
yes,
40,000 votes.
Yes.
Even in the case of Akufo-Addo, the first time he won with over 100,000 votes. Professor Moss. And the call time. He said, no, well, yeah, now 49.13. And Professor Mills is 47.92%. The honor will be intimate 50% mark and and a call time. The time Professor Mills Moye de Eko Daneno, Emma President Akufo-Addo de Lucy. In that case, and how do you look into President Akufo-Addo's face and tell President Akufo-Addo say, oh, first round kwa we need now even the second round kwa Lucy and you lost with just like around 23,000 votes in Tiempamo. And no san party for the can say no. Papa ne more than or boy, I'm for the challenge trust on Tianya de and Tonoso. Mama San Franco Akufo-Addo the second time. I do President Akufo-Addo 3 times scored. On the second time, or election no call Supreme Court no court no judges 9 court no assembly so e move 4 and then they are doing open in election we win ti assembly you judges 9 Supreme Court sa brenda na omo ka Professor Tubiga JJC adinyira ho ahwani okay e chachuji kata no ne Philip Addison mo and the many people be require ni so almost be law o ref
yes make pa
and tis nipa sa na wode na kwa even court no 4 of the judges even agrees with him say no you've won the election we should go for a rerun no How do you say so Fanum again? He's demonstrated and proven with a remarkable track record. Say, ampa, what the no quite bit my day. Aye, and then never tell time or day obey we. But now I'm comparing that to Professor Dubois. In the case of Professor Dubois, 30 point win or the year, 30.2. Let me confirm. I think 30.299. Remember, the difference was 1.2 million votes. At that time, the party people felt it was so wide. Now compare that to President Akufo-Addo. President Akufo-Addo, no, the first difference, and when I say 23,000 thereabouts. So how will you say now compare to year 2008. Yama fast to 2024. In 2024, Tiasem no, your co-elections no, in 4.65 million votes, representing 41.61%. And President Mahama Sunya 6.32 million votes, representing 56.55%.
4.65 million representing what?
4.65 million representing 41.61%. 41.6.
Okay.
And President Mahama 6.32 million votes, representing 56.55%.
Is the 4.6 million not more than the first attempt of Orakufo? So that will be let me borrow Dr. Bawumia. So that will be a WAP logic, because you also have to look at the number of votes involved, right? The baseline. What is the baseline? If you take the percentage alone, you'll be wrong. Because if we are to go by extension of that logic, then why did you also lose with 1.7 million here? So it's not about the percentages. We are looking at a trend where you compare a predecessor to a predecessor, and that is a trend. President Kufuor from Professor Dubois from 30, President Kufuor to 39, to President Akufo-Addo to 49. Now, when you pick from 49, the trajectory is on an ascending trend. You don't then bring it from 49 to 41. What even makes it more crucial? Even President Akufo-Addo second term. If you want to compare to President Akufo-Addo second term, what you compare to Dr. Bahumia votes, about 10%. But can you still compare the 4.65 million now with Bahumia to be more closer to Akufo-Addo's own, Akufo-Addo's first round?
Akufo-Addo's first round. Let me tell you, Akufo-Addo's first round, no. He won with 100,000 votes difference. In Dr. Bahumia's first round, he lost with 1.7 million votes difference. That's the picture. Akufo-Addo's second round, right? So what even brought him into office? The 2020 Krana, I know you're very close a bit compared to Dr. Bahumia Krana. And Akufo-Addo won. The votes difference should be about. Let me get the figures right. But if you recall, the votes difference, okay, so Tiababe 2.1 million votes compared to what Dr. Bahumia recently had. So the principle that I'm laying is this. The input that I'm making is that if you look at Professor Dubois here, the first time, on my 30.29 in 1992, President Kufuor the 30.29 and 39.67 in 96. It shows 9.38 percentage point increase and a beckham from Professor Dubois here the performance. Now Akufo-Addo ebe far call 49.13 in 2008. It also means that 9.46% point increase and or the beckham President Kufuor here But we heard Dr. Bahumia there now. Onukwana recorded a decline from the predecessor of 7.52%.
Okay, so let's make this analysis. All these candidates are they've never been vice to a certain government or more.
That even makes it more crucial, yes.
Good. So all the people were main that you produce here, the party produced to stand, a competition. This is the first time I'm sure when a running mate, a vice president, wababidi as a leader of the party, wako elections, abba. So why would you give such a person that second chance simply because or your vice to an existing a president who within his time, a lot of issues happened. Economic issues were there.
But
you had issues. Social issues were there, economic issues were there, and all that. Facing that reality. Then out of that, a vice president comes out as a presidential candidate for the party. This is the first time ever. Maybe I stand to be corrected. With that huge, figure you mentioned, the 1.7 or so that you say that's the difference. So I want to then give that same chance to somebody who is an offshoot of a sitting government that came out. Okay, our Bailey, the woman that second chance you need to, prove to all of you that Obitimia I standing the test of time.
Yeah. My reduce the whole argument and conversation on second chance simply for showing up. And yes, only the answer was Jima for so I win the premise. After all, himself, the second.
No, because issues are more dealing with the party for them to have this failure.
So
are you looking at it the candidate in itself and I say the conditions around or the circumstances around Niamane CC and Intinema, the fall of that huge numbers not the candidate?
Let me be very honest here. There are a lot of factors that will influence the outcome of an election.
Mm-hmm.
One, even the party. The number of affected party also counts, and even the candidate also counts. I mean, you cannot dismiss say normal be a affected party now. I mean, certainly it won't affect the candidate and even the entire party.
Sure.
My member one on, for instance, economy. But at the end of the day, who are the handlers of the economy? Can you dissociate Dr. Baumia from the handlers of the economy? Every BBR a two party in BBR, whether good or bad. Everybody has to co-own it. How do you then separate the party from him when it comes to owning up responsibility and its consequential effect on going for election and its outcome? You can't do that. You can't decouple it because it's not like not chain you. It's not like say football and airball, not chain.
Yeah.
And it be a reserve player. And a while memuna when your mom boy about troka into your share there openino yentimi emfa nenka ho be a coach no maybe but in this case in this particular case say not two players who are more assistant captain. How do you then say assistant captain cannot also be responsible for BB at all party Nibia? So he can also purge himself.
Sure.
What I say?
Sure.
Yes,
but on your ultimate.
I mean, at the end of the day, and the
yes, on a president.
Kufo time no. Akufo serve in government. Akufo etimi win the first round. Sabre Kufo time there were no issues. What are you talking about? Kufo time na Akufo serve. You see, you made a very nice reference and a background about the fact that he was a vice president. The first time you had a vice president.
Yeah.
Does it even not? Should that even not be the main reason why his popularity was so higher? He should have even propelled us into victory.
It's also known that same time now the environment was also not good to propel him to be the avant-garde.
Okay, environment asema. Yeah. President Mahama, the time you talk about the environment. I'm telling you that the factors apart Ghana for the General Sotoaban is always the same. Why? Because our problems are always the same. Indeed, whether or not we like it, when we talk about factors affecting a party or factors affect, and it will always affect us.
Okay.
But give you about Akufo-Addo the picture then in 2008. Yes, so his popularity also. But you see, at the end of the day, you cannot suggest to me that candidate does not count. A candidate counts. You cannot suggest to me say candidate does not matter.
No, candidates matter.
Me here me say bia me mo bre bia na ni pen hu me track over bia na ye hu me say na mtie ni we say ba men kasa mo jo gidie kura nkofo kura wo mo kura no it counts.
Yes,
it counts.
No, I agree.
Yeah, omo team people make decisions based on religion. Aware based on tribal decisions. Had the enkoha how we minya on my team of VIP basis e makumako 102 e mu ntina ye bompa ye mansa ne akono. You think people doesn't are not influenced by matters of tribe, matters of religion, matters of credibility, how they see you, your outlook? Do they see you as bold? Do they see you as courageous? Do they see you say one kasa you are standing on your own, you can make firm decisions? So these are all factors that people it influences people in selecting a candidate.
And these are some of the factors Omabo Boss to say, for instance, your candidate is hot-headed. Your candidate, Ken is very hot-headed, or you're divisive. He is a risk. I mean, for the party when they pick. I mean, I've heard all these things. I've heard some of these things.
Saturday, me dan temper, me da be 4 p.m. Me obi oni me bia no. Enim say aside politics and coming on TV or my work life. Yes, me I don't have a very very conservative.
Yeah.
Me dan temper me need to be 2 a.m.
Okay.
Me need to na me tell computer ho and have to research and write this na me throw we. Nti me wie 10 a.m. me wie na me call gym. Sunday mentima sorry.
Okay.
So I spent 8 hours on this.
Okay.
Then somebody uses 15 minutes. Kwa here they are trying to charge GPT. that's the and he just
charge GPT.
Oh, miracles there no. Let charge GPT respond. This is a man wasting my time on him. No?
Oh, okay.
Secondly, remember. Secondly, I'm saying this so that we have a background that we should be modest. Sabra na minya Ken spokesperson. It should be by na me responder. Okay, jam so on her capacity na me responder because me spokesperson to his level. Timi do wana mabe responder. You see the posture and no na affected Dr. Baumia. The posturing even of his communicators. And then the aid and as well there or not responded to us.
Do this one for me. One Kofi Ofosun cancer. I'm not sure whether you've seen the message. You know, saying I guess Kwesi Kwarteng will not attempt Asante Achim North primaries again. It's on Facebook. Or saying this is an analysis. Certified results for the Asante Achim North primaries as follows: incumbent Andy Kwame Apia Kubi 226 votes, representing 39.79%. Former MP Kojo Ajima 103 votes, representing 18.13. Samuel Kojo Frimpong was 160, and then Stephen Obeng Saka 67, and then Kwesi Kwarteng was 12 votes, representing 2.11%. So then the analysis on also Yohane said then you shouldn't be coming back again because it is huge.
I expected this question. I have two answers to him, very succinct.
Yes.
The first one is that the candidate the northern part of the country where he's from. There are over 30 policies on your zero contest election bill. That is one. Secondly, the whole Ghana, all polling stations, Zongo communities, the candidate are not presenting, apart from Winneba Zongo, he lost every Zongo community. So it's by for election. Also a second chance. And the candidate coming from the northern part of the country, still we lost there. Again, Tiasemi you, on one candidate presenting out of 16 regions of Ghana, a move 15 regions we decline in votes. Only Northeast near appreciative votes about 20,000. As the neighbor. Now, me case say Openi Kofi for soon cancer. At the time, not the whole establishment was supporting his candidate. Mimi Krum. I was the only Nipa na me yejuma by my support to Canada Japan. I thought about me winning. He wasn't expecting the establishment to push for me. They obviously push for Omunipa, and the only person I support to Canada Japan. I'm just a victim of a support of Canada Japan in that election. If they care to know, I'm just a victim. How they manipulatively coerce everybody to shape everybody in line. Oma Canada Japan winning. No kofa Asante Achim North, Asante Achim Central from near Hedo Subina. Oma Canada Japan winning. No kofa Asante Achim Central near Hedo. You should grow well. Yeah, bre. Mama fancy. Second chances, second chances, no. It's like 2028 as my year. So 2028 is not about maybe 2028 is not about second chances.
Okay.
2028 is about courage. 2028 is about credibility.
2028
is about winnability. I don't think it's about Bawumia, but I think Ken has it more than any. No, I don't. It's not. We are smart. It's not really about Bawumia not having it. It's about Ken being taller when it comes to credibility. When it comes to the discipline. Now, before we did 4 years, but I can't say the candidate. But we need a strong candidate, not a weak one.
All right. But I say, Ora Kweku. Kwesi Kwarteng the no Edin Komo Sesiano spokesperson with the campaign for Ken Ejapon the no Edin Komo in regards to the second chance bid and as to who should go and who not to go and who come on any Sesiano. And then I have someone here I'll say good on Mr. Host and Richard the champion from Eastern Regional. Please, I want to know you are hosting the program or spokesperson for Dr. Bawumia. Okay, you're asking whether I will host a spokesperson for Dr. Bawumia. Oh, for sure. So because one year so we will surely get there. Now, this and common na our hormone no metro and also Ebeba Sisia and Bayport. Some can say so pay fixed deposit Edia Juma Osika that honoma won't find your name moment as I said what the year BB now unyam find your any Fatuho na fa ma Bayport na omutimi fanto ma no munye ehu adwuma nyina amount you know so 5,000 be that ho be 16 to 20% interest you beto so ama wo so and oh 20,000 beto bisumi nsia ema ya be 1,120 interest wo osika no so so and o ma 100,000 afe ba kon ye be 20,000 Ghana cedis na wo de account osika no as interest umpewe na opedi me ba cho frɛ manager Mr. Bonnie na one no ending komo 0245 153 0245 153 23 and then 020 412 5878 020 412 5878 and that's 0245 153283 and no Bayport fixed deposit no ho enkomo na me no edi sesia no chepam sa men kan cho so guswa entire no ho adwuma amount. So when you're looking for the best tailor ever in this country ebacho chepam ns okon ho na one no ekudi enkomo no say your office wear, say your wedding, hair party, say your church, funerals, any other occasions bia no chepam sa men kan cho se bra na on pimpam entire ni nyina ma the best tailor me de minim e wo Ghana hanom no ono no chepam e wo awoshi market obehwe na 02068 37738 02068 37738 chepam or see your custom tailoring ho asem na meka cho se siarom 4 minutes past the hour of 9 Kweku Esiedu Herbal Prayer Center sa meka cho se GDA Herbal Mixture and a face including herbal mixture ewo honom emau and intinum say wo pe edro meka arthritis o pe edro malaria fever headache typhoid and a face joint pains in dia nom GDA herbal mixture no nebebo ye pa and no edro tata hwe betimi aboama arthritis and a face no o malaria o fever o headaches o typhoid and a face joint pains in na no ebetumi akọ ema no muntie including herbal mixture no etumi eboa when it comes to menstrual cramps and a face menstrual irregularities ni nyina no etumi eboa mo amope stomach relief ulcer for ni nyina no nkunimdi herbal mixture ene betumi aboa sa ndre wo pebi pare yenkwa wedam pharmacy a Sherman Ecos pharmacy and also wa Sherman Repash Ventures okanshi Hallow Herbal okanshi Angel Herbal okanshi na face Kings Walk Herbal and also okanshi na face Madina and then Suhum Tony K Herbal Kaswa House of Drugs and after JB Pharmacy and all herbal shops a war a year or memu nyina no onsa ebetumi akabi from I was 055 863 9865 055 863 9865 na fe oni omo endi enkomo na nhwe de echo enu ntine ho adro na mede amount sisi ano. Time check is 5 minutes 6 past the hour of 9 ehun koma na ye di wo hana but I be di nkomo afa phones mobile phones de hu hia ye pa some catch you say sisi ano enye ne fe say obekrekra mobile phone keke basisi ano Bruni say a necessity ano odiniye ehu hia ye pa. It has become one of the most important things in our life. Business in here the year it is a man many papa e wo grass na so munya wa e telephone ya na e bedi nkomo na mom no ne bo na e bibia wo ha mamo but me wo magic bi e ma wo me wo dwumekuo bi a sisi ade almost say brana beje na omonteto enkrakrakra brana beji as low as 300 Ghana cedis mesi ubenya phone ana meboa pa zanete pepe wakari pa koju mede metie na meniaje na no say metie no bi friend me say koju asema wo kan wo ye sure say dwumeku a wo kan ho asemi adwuma mo ye no na me say yan Ombeba studio na yaba bedi nkomo ni ahwe se ne nema esi eko enu tini atena se ne de yaba bedi nkomo ni ahwe de eko ene de eba ora sempa mo ache ema akwaba eba Kessben Maakye so ewo Kessben TV Kessben 92.9
Kojo besemo ache na obo say
boko be fine me so o shirt ni da na apeko no on ade no Abraham Bacha odi no
Bacha FM Theophilus
I was phone na si we nim na mem timi say me stand ni bi ntaya na brain why
okay
stand there we here fa
okay e bro
o asempa ye ni nkomo si ye ka Psalm 23 and easy buyer mo ye hwan edin na obi sits edin na onye den na wo
good Psalm 23 and easy buy phone adwumakuo bi a ya trust en say phone to akoye ohaw amankofo sebe might be cry trim because of phone. Obi wa ne ba eko school here phone man na na dadwen. You will say phone to akoye or how pa manipa. It's easy buy any some 23 etnase who say okwabrochira ye wo system bebre a utimi de to phone na utimi tua na kakra feel impact no. It's na easy buy trans who say and obetime de sa susudu ale bia abagana. It's no partner with Sam 23 and they sa phone say buy say obi biara wo Ghana bia or pe phone bia no phone enkoye na dwendwen ne mo betime nsa ka phone bia wo na koma so bia na wo tuatua na kakra say dem kan no as low as 10 cedis a day.
Hey,
just 10 Ghana cedis and require top pure water bottle back.
10 cedis.
10 cedis a day. The one say obey deposits.
Okay.
It be quite 280 cedis.
Wow.
It be quite 300 cedis. Near the phone ma okofie. Na fe utiano kakra 10 cedis a day. It is actually mo pono and as some 23 ne easy buy. Transing who say you be see a boa Ghana for because they say what digital age. Adie bia we bia no. We hear phone and kwala kro mu ko school kra homework ni nyina they say ni na go phone asem it is asem no ye trans mu say
online studies ye ni na ye phone ya it is obani ni bia ha
ade ba ko kra ha my this ade ba na no boy bi akwaje phone bi free girl bi o ade a o say ono toma no ne the guy bia any on phone phone man ni ye be say man na kropo they should own their own phone say the be ya obi free kropo na afa because Bema Toma 1 hour in Sanya the owner of his own phone. Tell us some 23 any easy buy at the buy tea. You decide any buy, say the buyer phone to enquire Dajone. Enquire Dajone. It's SARS to the entity. Okay. And the mass some 23 any easy buy.
In Tasama, okay, son, no pay me all the numbers need to join a year free. Na me see me wo a year. 300 cedis wo hono be se me de beto ase na meje eye phone e se fata menye bi phone eye WhatsApp camera wom bibia bi wom
and look here the crown say most latest phones pop 10 any spark 40 the latest techno phones no nyina no oba obenya bi Infinix Itel iPhones oba ni nyina ye betimi ayama am wotua na kakra enye ha de wum kon say den say ya saden sise fufuo bi aba say ebia utu fie kura na wo Ghana card na wo phone bia ye betimi dia toa wo dia be register ma yes a new one e dia aba say
me ba o senka ye kasa
sisi
na wo de number atudwa
now wa fresh up phone bi na wa kire kwan ye do bi ba be registration number na what the deposit na the phone number
ehun hia se obe nante kwa
ba be ehun hia kwa so be ba be ye wo no
enti ye ba na phone kura ye
ba na the phone kura de aba na be ye
ye register we ya
the phone number no age na ye ko ye ba bi
na wodi hu ni wo tuatu ase ne fata
because unim Ghana you see the credit score here juma you say uber general say oh me jemi ntia that ebi go call embassy near ya feeling invest on tia say o credit score no ehia u gina u tua no na build score no eto da bi ubetimi agye loan cry ya sika cry dia kan ho easy buy te sa de man nyina u gina u di hu ne a ebie kwan bebre ma o ma otim de je niema hodo bebre fridges TVs enti niema bebre wo ho a se u di hu ne a ebetimi age aka ho ewo easy buy and Sam 23 yes
bosu na ebane se mete on kan de na mom no mini akra na me wo ebia takra de anamo baby but me hia bia me de me Ghana card ni bibia mo ba me de me so sa no ba me de
pacho ye wo branches Ghana amamu nyina say ye kuma say takra di bibia opebia bibia obia easy buy branches ben o eti na ehia ni say obebo era ebia franco na mazba ana say ebia easy buy show bia a partner show bia ben obia obenye bi e be che na we de wanye bi ni Ghana card ni 30%.
Okay, anya bad cry. Mr. Some I timami bisa o sanka me ti he ya me kra phone e ba ne say so me ndeng
good ade ba ku say de o mun kra say ya sign show screen no sen case o screen pa ya within
before I met you carry.
Yes, show sika ni ma usika na utua 300 cedis deposit. Na what you 10 cedi there. Ya sign show screen is a screen paya. Ya be ya ma free. Na calculate all down higher. Eho o de koho. Now to phone free easy buyer on Bayama free.
Oh,
they all was here.
Wonderful.
Yes, on Bayama free.
Wonderful.
Yes, on Bayama free. Within 6 months, auto phone, ya ensure screen.
Wow.
A bit me, I am free.
Wow. It won't me ma 6 months.
Yeah, yes, me ma 3 months. It must even up to 1 year, depending on phone I offer.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
I depend on phone I'm found.
Good.
It mean ya be.
Yes, and no crowd be credit me. Utono as long as 1 year be credit me 5 cities. A day. Yes.
Mr. Sempasa.
Oh, good. Yes.
A trooper, a true.
It's for and some American 7 we are buy when I was son, some American now got trim because of phone. I made you way up.
No crap.
Made you way because
of phone.
Yes, be a bit me only phone. It's way I say, bra, never fan of fala, the Tiano Ketuebi.
I think it's a good call.
Yes.
A very good call.
Yes.
But phones in the
phone, no, you pop 10.
Okay.
You was Spark 40.
Okay.
You have your latest phone.
Yes.
Spark 40, you was Spark 40 Pro, you was Spark 40 Pro Plus, you come on 40, you come on 40 Pro, your Infinite 60i, your just say phone I tell A70 Sanya money nyina ewo ho. And iPhone, a free iPhone XR Echo 16 Pro iPhone me beba utrim biaro for some 23 obob wow no tua kakra atwase
o say iPhone beba mi
iPhone beba utrim biaro you bet me ayama.
Oh, what a wow.
Yes, no one Ghana card.
Wow. Ghana card na here.
Ghana card na here any percentage obetua kakra bi betwase kitu ebi ade betwase
monche me bia mo way na good me see fika mu
good circle hey say o pese o ba circle na obeji phone bia ye wo Ebony no your former place and your meat pie no.
Near Toby
it is a woofy Accra da bra campo temu so wa go brushini a whole area mo be bra circle a year ebony obaba kwana meat pie ni bi sikwan ho obehu se ye the Infinite signboard atro Psalm 23 bowura ho na ko fa Ghana card o ko ase Psalm 23 se me beji fo eti maba o ko ya ye beji jo so sada na o ba na o beji fo akọ na fe La Paz mo amwo ni boy town kwashiman kasua ni ade malam aboba no o so ba La Paz e police container o fi police Eco Bank na o ba abeka kwan na o total filling station bi o total filling station wo na Tigo office so ni opposite pepe Kanishi Trotro station La Paz and also obo say Psalm 23 wo ho and afen so uko pokuase so taxi rank no mami police building nim ewura market ni mu ho na ye first floor ho na also Psalm 23 wo ho said the menu and kai kuma sene ahodo bebre so ye wo branches bebre ho and so betimi direct ama wako na wako je ofo
ana mo fa na mani to dwana fe ye hu de be
number say wo betimi afre 0244 711 873
okay
0244 711 873 and 0248 292763
okay
0248 292763
nice one.
Yes,
it's your friend number is way
CC number be a friend
ba mo ye bibia wo bia men friend
yes so impose uni Ghana card na wo voters idea ye ma sa akonya and our license bra shop on ye nyama yes akonya ma
hu sa dey ya phone na start free dey me sure say e je kwede na do beja the krakra
enti ne be just enye phones nkwa na ye enye phones ye home appliances ye fridges ye just say bibia obedwun bia home appliances bia oba unsabe kan easy buy say bra be fa ni fala na de na twa ni kakra yes easy buy
Matthias here. Alright, Psalm 23.
Good.
Ye pon meba ho.
Matthias.
Bibia meat pie no ho na some dey be me. Enti meba oni e.
Mesro ma me fa konya we na me chia me maame.
Okay.
Me maame akua santoa.
Okay.
O achim oda.
Okay.
Maame adama koma so pa.
Okay.
Evade onhira no. Na obbo ne ho ba maame. Evade ma ne nyini nche. Said be ya evade to me nsam a metimi amana di dance na wafi wiase. The akua santoa.
Amen.
O achim oda. Na me nhira o ene me wo fa abusua pani of kakra. nyame shira no mo ho ban na onka ho me da se
me da se pa enti ene some 23 and easy buy for na edi and commodity and into we hear phones no me pa cho ye sorry wakaye ntem na akwe 0248 292763 and after 0244711873 onsa ebeka some 23 and easy buy for na onyomo atwetwe nkomo na fe ye hu de ebeko ene de ebe nyina ma men kan way from Nana Kwame from KEA or say Kojo, please ask Mr. Kwarteng what did he also do to help the party retain power since he was also part of the government after he refused to even give school placement slot to grassroots mini hobby mitiminya sure say mitimi this evidence way about he should stop the hypocrisy and think about the party again. Ask him if he will contest for primaries again in his constituency per his own analysis today. Me sure say obeko and intino yenhwe anymore. essbenMaakye, please, good morning. Please, can I get the number of Canada Japan spokesperson? I am Mike from Wenchi. Mike, Richard appear sapon edebese no intimenstro bibia ebeye fine. Richard obia numbers wa hanem intino or the ebe mount na also otu minino edi enkomo. And then MPP government on state of emergency Galamsey and then lie on Galamsey in opposition, but he has woefully failed, blah 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 blah, on and on and on and on. OPK, I will read it very well, but I'm not getting the connection well, so I would definitely would do what nafi ye di and come on. 90 minutes past hour of 9. And we essbenMaakye. So me the omanso for Kojo Preko Dankwah. Ye ni nkomo biom na me ne oba ekwia endi enkomo. Anko yo ba ku. But is here do your back queer. Many no ending como Enfi Susie Herbal Center for her. I was to whom na yen shed the air call. Oba biabo call there.
Yanko pardon.
Who's Friday I'm who no.
Aye.
I'm in ten.
No, I busy.
Who's who's I'm in ten who.
Now, I feel the door.
Mrs. Me watch a pa. I didn't some crazy.
I boss meeting in Kenya. But that's what you miss you.
Who's Bibi very fine.
Bibi very fine.
Ojidifa.
Oh, we are very fine.
Okay. So them down pa.
What I say? Some customer samba.
I know about.
Masamba. The return.
See you for what to say. Then I want my name.
But you me that say, and then I no pay me check Kessben. I have 4 near tearful in a baby hour. So ben ya na wechi. Me so simetia wa ya so therefore do me. Ama me akwanya se me no me di nkomon for ya pomudin ano pay ya na e wo se me ba na yebedi. Na ye koso me na ho ya akọ. Ai the 8 heroes a mo free mu. Awe ho se mo kom fa so free mu de eya. Nanso Bible krasi ye wo osiepa na watwi na ho asem na maka Bible kasafa osiepa ho nti Nyankopon awufo ni wu na esie omu ye ye mmone omu tse de oman no esi apeni ne Yesu njamomo na Nyankopon pene so nanso hefo na betumi esie awufo no osiepa ye ati asefo ye be na esie omu osiepa na ye wo ahoden ape akade ne niema ene ebre a ye betumi de asi omo siepa asu omo ejamodi ni wo make say wo dem kotodwe usisi vigil there yakoso ye programs event ni ade in honor of the fallen 8 na obara babie utidwa wo kra wo dwen wo yale ho wo po yam hihye da so wan wi a wo betona na mo nse dubi mesra wo how to atwa anope ma ba utie mi wo hwe me a wo how to eden atwa mi de dupa ebrel Radi Nyankopon ati osufre wasoma me se anopa men free Suzy Herbal Center men for CB product emrewo men fa che camera no CB product men for mrewo na fa sa wo ho yare na wo ho entumi ento me pa cho me sha ase e de free capsules no so men sani fan de ekramu no a ho green ne white no a ye de red atwotwo mu no ye fa ni CB men capsules e be madru CB men a masculine uti ni dini kura wo se be ma na enom CB men wo ba ya bibremu ne Ghana ha obi anhye dan ye bi abrafo no na asa omo de supplement bi se omo se omo ye bi na emom eba ne abibidro kroji pure herbal organic ankasa obi anya ade we bi so aye ma de aye me ma de ye nkwa ne ya hya ase me nua na anim therefore unim se ye sheda fa enua ne haban enuaba a eni mema ahoden esefata na eye adwuma yiye emema hormones ni hu a ema ne ye very active moja no se tomu a ede ne nante fa ne padua kwa ne mu nyina ekokoko body parts ni mu organs ni mu yiyi yawe tu ase ekum virus ne bacteria ne fungi ya agu ni padua na ehawo no eyi ni nyina afiri ho de aha eno ni yashada de ye ede ama emema eye essbenMaakye capsules eya bibidro woti anu a egumu eyi hyeso cotton ehyeso wonum a enyi cotton ntontwene mane koso hyeso de bia se de be ya mframa enrum capsules empem frama mesra wo ye be ma ubi sasa ya we be na be ya me na mafa essbenMaakye ne ye be ya wunie na no obi ma complain se eya watobi onum 3 days ni se de ka se ebegina so no hu ye brampa cha de bia me ka san senwe eya abibidro so adwuma enye sa nkofo de na maye oh won no ya 2 minutes na de na so regina so hey adro bi etise bi be how da ache no madura eto ne bo ye adwuma sibi capsules ewra moja ni mu na akọ moja ni mu ananti mu ahwehwe yare amoawa ewo moja ni mu ekọ honan ni mu eba wo skin ni mu ahwehwe yare amoawa ewo mu ekumo mu nyina na ewia yare amoawa ba oni padua mu a omo sai niema ema nipadua ne function ema nipadua ne ye adwuma etube hu tse nipadua no sabi obema ena ayemre utimi mu adwuma enema bi ebo ma moja pompi ko obema ni mu no ena omakọ sai no enti moja ni ntimi pompi go yie na obema no sabi ubo under 2 seconds under 2 minutes enti de sibi ni ye nie ekọ nipadua ni mu a ekokum sai yare mo woni na afiri ho ena san cells no niema na ebo ma moja ne pompi ye no okọ repair no okọ siesie ema foforo efifi de ayeye mre ni nyina nya ahode sorry na ewia abustu na fa nipadua na nkasa ya adwuma enye aduro ne koya adwuma okoboa nipadua na mani healing no oma nipadua ne gya ne nan so oma nipadua ne yeye na naturally se de nyame bo nipadua no waye na adwuma sa se bibi na de nipadua ne ye adwuma sa de ne gya ye a nipadua ne besa akofom biem ago ti adura ema nipadua na nya ahode sorry na ono abo adwuma ne nya aduro na eyusu no be pa chaw sa adroi ena ye essbenMaakye eti se woto na 3 days enya ese mu oni tirim ko enya dende a nyabotre one bottle bia eye 7 days course enti no me mienu to miensa ana 4 but more than about 21 days 8 to 28 days na wo de no ana full 1 month na nom na wanka se free ho kono hwe na wo yo kwa no free 7 days kono a wo hu se wo na ye mu ankasa wo ja se da yie udidi yie ojunso yie na obema mu ekeka wo no obo wano ma oni infection na mbum amamman na agina wusisi ni mu ache e wo se yi ni nyina afiri ho e ma wo hoto moja na ene afusane e wo se ye adwuma na ne makoyie eti misrew wonya infection obema mu kekawo ensagugu ano na emu ya ojunso a ya sha okatita ene san ne ma no koto essbenMaakye bi wono mebeboa wo obo wusisi na ya wo ya wachi backbone wachi bremo etimi tutu chotase a enye ye obo wonchen wonfe na ni nyina ye ya wo ya okotodwe wona waposo utitumi dwawo wonum atuntumi nidi eye essbenMaakye ebeboa wo kama se na ema wa emre wo mpamu dia ebonoso wo be gina sobo adwuma na wo be chemu ama wani agye mamema wo essbenwomen se de ye mema de no saa ne ye ma de ne nso aban no content ni different capsules de abani nua ye de ye no different from mema ne de no eno se hwe de bo ma ne de ye echo ba wo so sasa wonuma nya botre fan 1 full month wo ye be ma 1 full month na rensu so a wan kasa beba achire 1 full month no ba udidi anopa wi a wanu mienu anwumre na wanu mienu mema de no so the same thing na sa de etie nie oba obu nsa na emaye ehwehwa sisi na wa ya se ye wo ya endometriosis and Daniel Nino, Obi Crown fly coast South Africa, essay, Aqua who surgery, or by a seller bears a 5 years each, a fifi. Yen a year, or Brana Sibu, or statista offer CB women, or Maka chance I won't put the own will be. Ninipa Diacra Trenchum, one bre, ne swat him cause about me collapsing pay no but didn't mean containing, me pacho or started first CB women, and then the base. Akwale so ni fie ono so a obi no ni so betumi awunti awale wa mpebi nti amase sei oni obi na kwawo obi kura kunu eno ne kwawo ye be man pope so ware no o so mpa asem obepeba o me pa wale e na ote no wodi adanse me soro wodro nie ene da ne onini etumi no anase bi mu de 60 to say baby awutu nkosua no na nsu ahye na chinchim na the pains ebrew entumi ntu nkosua ne ye me pa cho wodro esibi women oba won so sabio we infection ama ehwa abie enka ba potompoto aba wa ensa wo ye wo hine okeka wo utiti ni ade wodro sibi women ade ensa ye anopa ye didi ti me pese meka nsa ni bebre no ane sibi women ebeboa wo aba ema wo vision kra ye kama ema wo dwunso fine wo honam dua na obi bia ye kama emwaneje obi share me say me hu na wafusu na ade na say wasa ye sa pa ya no ane wo say afro ni de yankopɔ ya adom no de betum na etwane ya pa wie na akola ni si foma na yire ho fa wo sibi women capsules sa oba ya ba ya te say ma ya ba ya meti hei ane eni we ya nso hum ya asa me nwoda sa nya me na eye sibi na aboa me koto bi na mmoa wo nya miscarriage for ba wadre ni ebeboa wo afa sibi soap me ne wo wie sibi soap anu nie bo modian na wo nsa enka bi sibi soap ene na timu no pusi kama otibi wo nsam na ayeden me se obi ekopa me so ye ready chemistry mana ye se oni hyebere adaya ne nsam nyina sisi ncheche ayeden den dia rewere okoto sibi soap na twi ye therefore ansana ne nsam ntwo ye nyame atwotwogu ye nsam omo mo ready palm no omo say ye ba ye ho nsa ye hyebere na wo ye nsam no tika di papo nsese ga chacha rough of na e show ye nsam too much obi de ye so oni hyebere adanya ne nsam asai obi nenti pro na no pro ne mo wire pro ne nantam pro ye sibi soap wano de ye mfanka o mo wire won santa won nantam wo de ye pedicure ne manicure eboa me so so number screen ase ma me Simon fama wo na fro ye nya we bi atete wo ya we bi a hawo ya we bi a edi wunya ya we bi a aha wa che ma so anamanka won asem kra wi a fro ye 0247 11 16 71 0247 11 1671 and I what 0246 or for 0247 so I share for 0246 57 87 50 0246 57 87 50 when you nko boy beboa wo pe bi atu nsu akoka shi draglin repression ba ubenya bi dudu no eto na bra ya so ye e suhum amanhia wo fi suhum dru amanhia buka vu no akote no ehwa ene team me da ase
yes ya da ase ekua ya da ase bi woni eye Suzy Herbal Center for ene nkoma amuni ababi this year no 9:30 is the time then we're going straight into Nana Frimponsiga with Ziga Stick and then we'll leave you in good hands with Julaka coming with the Medford action the Ziga Stick no brought to you by Doc activated Chaco Doc Doc Chaco Doc Chaco hun come up and this is here no de Ziga Stick no and then indeed so we pay a beer to party me catch Doc Doc Chaco 100% natural safe for kwalana fisum paying for indigestion, itching, skin rash, food poisoning. Nina no so what heartburn, so what stomach upset. Weekend I had a stomach upset and truly me hunu be anomie. This one I can attest to it. And you remember 637. I had a good relief from my stomach issues, gas and I feel so virus in BB biaranum. Me pacho Doc Doc Chaco na obenom na etumi aboa na bibia etumi akoyi amount me ma try ahwe ma test it and I know say it is good metro bibia benye bi right after Ziga Steak na fe ya toaso e wo honom Ziga morning bibia boko there
yeah nyame ado bibia boko
nice
yeah still morning yes
yenkwa
yeah, I thought say morning na mama kwesi kwati am.
Yeah.
Obi aye morning.
Ehunya. Morning na 3 days ye ento aso na fe. Yehu de be.
Ye fere say. Boss. Enra me re pa o.
Okay.
Say honorable Mutala Mohammed doctor. Enra me hu ni videos bia me hu krada. Na me hu videos no me hu dwiri me. Na e maria ho sempa
Oshe enra nipa eko burial service nasia. Alhaji Muniru ene Dr. Mutala Mohammed Ibrahim. Na she nipa eko na. Sadi we sentimi united this country. Ebe din si betimi united. The guy said May 9th May 9 disaster 2021 2001 May 9 by so we shall united this country somehow. So now you do political season one na abese no ma adia mehu sad we say by a united yen because omo top no political parties ni follow omo they are setting good precedent until wa wo achi no wo kasem hunu bia na assets like na etwetwe so the Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia the Honorable Kennedy Japan the other aspirants omo ko minority majority leaders omo ni na akabo omo ye no efe we are hoping say Quebec to us na ade we say taking something out of our politics and na adwena me ready how 9/11 was able to unite America and it was a serious because when George Bush wanted to invade Iraq na omon peneso but 9/11 because they had made an attempt to invade Iraq. Saudi Roman peneso 9/11 by they took their time to show videos attacking American embassies. So Dar es Salaam, there Tanzania, Kenya, there baby, including the 9/11. Then it brought American together. Said no, we have sanctioned this. Go to Iraq. That if you know the people that behind Asama Abeya, go to Iraq. So I think say Saudi will say a united. Now ye boss. Ora ebese free ankra. Presidential envoy for interfaith and economical relations. Or the presidency. Waka Simbi say and the crime say Delhi Gada capture. Or say direct all prophecies of national nature, especially those involving government officials to the presidency. Waka Semi and now tie radio ne television and confront Tiasma what can I say? But you see, we need to be very careful as a country. Or may a Christophone crimophobe, a religious you say country. But we also have to be very careful. See Bibia. Ghana, your constitution, and I say Emrebie no honoma Ghana. A forbidden prophecies. Tin you, Emrebie no. What kind Ghana constitution and my freedom of association, freedom of assembly, and freedom of religion and practice. See religion and practice. Eti ya ka freedom of association, freedom of religion no. Broad. Freedom of religion is say ebia na wo sumbi so de biche. Ubetimi akosom esumbi a wo pe tini o. Ubetimi asumbi a wo pe. Ti say ukwa Gambia yaya jeme time na the last election wa olusu ma barubai we declare Gambia as Islamic state and some of the countries declare be a Christian state e be Islamic state just say apart from no untimi e de bibia but Ghana there was say freedom of association, freedom of religion and ye the amount etu betimi adjoin obi abra ban bia ntimi shaw se men join. But the same constitution say, constitution does not recognize any religion. You get me? Does not recognize any religion. It means that it does not mention any religion. Say when Christianity, Islam, or mention. It tells you a lot to say. Practice. But practice, no, and them said the constitution recognize it or religion into no. Adie biado religion baya e be sitting on the fundamental human right of another. It is against the laws of this country. and I say a big critique chaos at the amayan so the biche it's against the laws. Share what you would you radio station now shout to say something producer fool we ebewu fool we bewu. Don't know what you have created with your religion. You get me? So kasa fool we bewu. One, what in the good jam chapter 5 of the Ghana Constitution talks about the fundamental human rights. And that's what time and so you are terrorizing me emotionally. Metwana me dwendwene, metwana me nimse mi bewu. Aside that, me yene me ma odu omusu na gujam. Jamaica na what I say. Enti wonti me nya saade no, wo ye saade no a etia Ghana mra. And the president is the say. Saade we na aba no. Senya beya ebia wate abamu nipa ho asem bi senya beya won kan public o kan public kra na what say gu nipa ni mu ase Jamaica na wate ase it direct all your prophecies to presidency bra oba obi ho wa beje prophecy no ni afre sa nipa no aka che na de ese ye ni aye we simple like ABCD. Why can't we understand this? Jamaica na wate ase simple. Say first panel we need access.
You see the amount access.
The more access. First panel say prophecy be bar and a person oka. Ebia your access to Jubilee House no. Dey say obeko obede nipa no. Ebia obeko the ministries, ebia o DC, ebia o chief executive. Dey but wait there. What say ye do obi atena ho. What say direct all your prophecies to the presidency. What the bar nipa de be ye wa well too. Oh say na mahunu. Two scenarios. There are two things that happened in the Bible. Nathan, on say David kofa Uriah. Ami ekunu. Odifo Nathan. Echo David ho. Okono ho tieni o. Wa kind of public okono ho. Anu okoyi nothing. Wembu nothing. Say papa bia owo odwan baako. No ye hiani no ne ba ekura udwan ba ko pe ketwa ba ko lamp na sikani bia owo nantwie ni nyan oxys bebrebe na wanya hoho so opeso 7 no obefa hiani ni dwa ba ko kukuru sa said the party you fata owuo ono say Maakye it is you so when you sue or apply wisdom and okay the same thing also happened New Testament one Herod John the Baptist should have approached and I say go to Herod. Nanko wakwaka saje na kire no no ma ehu bibi. But he said it in public. What good ni mu ase and was beheaded. Prophecy no obiantia prophecy. Ganambra entia prophecy bia. But sabe yamra no ene yadem ne Ghana. Ene yade yesu ni ya ban and ye bibia na yadem ne constitution. Enti ye ya sofo no moyenti ase. Konfonti ase se prophecy no ntimi bie wa no kan saa e fa confront su kogujam because the national best farmer ewo airport dey na asem ni see me ne communities bi koya de odum say ye do airport dey di patra be withdraw omo take it na usu a chabrempo bisa no na di patra ba I retrieve your father say omo cancel omo flight na okakofa no to Kumasi. They have cancelled their flight because somebody has said it in Kumasi. Say there will be a plane crash.
Okay, all right. Yeah,
say on my side we see. Yamo on my basu.
Okay.
It this say okone say ya ma access. And no now ba near ye huru kwaya befa ye the befa.
All right. May I say Ziga Steak was brought to you by Doc Chaco. Doc DOK. Doc Chaco and the bread was a war a bloating tummy gas indigestion stomach ulcer and the keka stomach discomfort biano e pacho enom Doc DOK Chaco na ebeto powerful pe bebre atua area pharmacy Kumasi Love Life Pharmacy Kumasi Pure Life Kumasi na face so Pure Leaf sorry and face Colina Kumasi na nabo achitema men's atakra de Joe Bennett Pharmacy Sunyane and face Delight Pharmacy Kufrodia Widama Pharmacy Ashaman and face Pharmacy BA wo Okaishi Drug Lane biano onsa ebekebi from on was 059 820 6885 and answer 020-66-16620. A Doc Chaco and who asem ena mede ebro. It was brought to you by a Mekanzi Gestic was brought to you by Doc Chaco a Kessben Maakye so. And a happy birthday to you, Kelvin. Is it Ekuro or Echo? Sorry, Kelvin Echo. Happy birthday to you, Kelvin. With your Gaspar Hanom. Radin Shrow. And then a happy birthday to you, Nana Sewa Bracket 2 Ayaw the second. And also for you, Mr. Esirufi. Happy birthday to you, Nana. And then a happy birthday to you, Rich Love, CEO of Rich Love Collections. Happy birthday to you. And then a happy birthday to you, Mr. Francis Ayaba Dankwah, CEO of Ayakas Fashion Ghana. With your Bapa Lamisi Honum. Happy birthday to you, Francisca. And then a happy birthday to you, Obapa Sewa. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you and to another one, Madam Cynthia Bompon, founder of Love and Victory Club Canada. Happy birthday to you. And then a happy birthday to you, Mr. Yao Ohine, from your wife, Madam Cynthia Bompon, also from Canada. Happy birthday to Munyina.